I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with composers Allyson Newman and Heather McIntosh and Oscar-nominated songwriter Taura Stinson, who collectively are first-time nominees at the Emmys for their song All About Me from the L Word Generation Q. First of all, everybody, congratulations on your awesome Emmy nomination.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much.
You must be so thrilled. You know, there were 80 songs on the music and lyrics Emmy ballot this year. Like, that's huge. That's a huge uptick from years in the past. And you made the top 6 alongside really impressive songwriters on shows like Ginny and Georgia, Maisel, 2 Ted Lassos, they're so greedy, and Weird Al Yankovic. Like, it's nothing to like just think, oh yeah, no biggie. This is a huge achievement. So I want to know from each of you, perhaps maybe first you, Allyson, just because I have an Aussie bias. How did you find out about the nomination? And tell me about your reaction.
Okay, I was sitting on the porch. I think Tara and Heather and I, the three of us, were just texting each other. And I was actually watching it on the Emmy website. And I was thinking, oh, do I have to sit here and watch all the nominations? Because there's a lot of categories. So I think we were all sitting there like, okay, we may as well get a cup of tea and sit here for a minute kind of thing. And then Tomas, our publicist, texted us and said, congratulations. And I think we were all like, wait, what? Where is it? No one saw it. I'm like, where is it in black and white? And we're all like fumbling, trying to see where it was. No one really, they wanted to believe it until they actually saw it in some kind of print. That was my recollection of it. And then we just kind of called each other. It was amazing.
I can imagine. Heather,
I was calling. I'm sorry. This is just so funny because I was calling because Allyson texted us to say like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. And I'm thinking, we're not going to get this. So I'm calling her to say, don't be so nervous. If it doesn't happen, it's going to be okay, that kind of thing. And so in the middle of me prepping like what to say to her, and we get that text and from Tomas, and he goes, congratulations. And I said, are you sure? because I knew about like how many songs were in contention. I was just like so grateful and shocked.
And Heather?
I was in the middle of a deadline. So I was up early because I was slamming out stems and finishing up some writing. So I was just in my own headspace. And then all of a sudden, like the first message that I saw were sort of at the tail of it, where it was just like, are you sure? Are you sure? And so it's like totally out of context. And all of a sudden I see like the FaceTime come through and like, it was all the things that our gang has been speaking about. But I definitely was like, it was such a fever dream because I was just on this other plane and then having this unexpected thrill.
Yeah, and none of us thought we were going to get it. We didn't see it coming, honestly. We just thought we were on this really fun, wild ride together, and we were just enjoying the time and everything. But I don't think any of us really thought it was going to happen. It's kind of insane.
We were really proud of the song. Like, that's why we went for it. We're so proud of it. So, like on that level, we're like, we have to do it. At least Allie and I were like, come on, Tara, let's do it. We worked so hard on this, but
yeah, it just goes to show, like, if you believe in something, give it a go and see what happens. And it's testament to your colleagues in the music branch at the at the TV Academy that they really responded to the song. It's so beautiful. It's so well written, and the melodies and the way Rosanne sings it in the black and white sequence during the actual episode, it's such a banger, and I'm really happy for you all that you made it in. Now let's talk more about it. So creator and showrunner Margie Lewis Ryan and the creative team, they decide, hey, Generation Q, we want to do a musical episode. What happens next with the 2 composers on the show, Heather and Allyson? What happens? What's the next step? Because if I hear that, I think, oh my God, that's a huge undertaking.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that Marja was a fan of musicals. There'd been sort of like this whispering, this idea on the wind that this could be something to explore, but it wasn't until we got a message. I think Allie was on the beach weren't you like in Australia at the time? And just like, so how about this musical idea?
We were like, okay, that sounds fun. Happy Christmas.
That's it.
And it was a whirlwind. But we knew the second it became more of a physical reality that we were going to need to like get some extra wonderful creative support. And Taura, I wanted to work with forever. Such a talent and a gift. And we were just so thrilled to fold you into this, and we wanted to work together forever. So what a great opportunity. I was just so glad you were available, Taura, and that you wanted to do it. So
yeah, anytime. Heather, I just wanted to work with Heather. And so I met Allie through Heather, and it was just like this synergy between the three of us. And I'm like, okay, yes, I'm in. The Aussie vibes got me, I think, as well.
It's so true. Like, Taura, when I interviewed you a while ago, we hit it off straight away. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable for a sec, but you are so well known as a go-to hit maker. Like, if you read through the credits of the songs that you have contributed to or written, blows my mind. And so I just, like, when you get a call from Heather and then you meet Allyson and you think, all right, I'm going to write for this show. What goes through your mind? Like, because how do you approach songwriting I'm really not really good at this morning. Tell me how you wanted to approach this when you finally met the two ladies and you're like, all right, we're going to write this musical.
Well, thank you for that, by the way. Okay, so it was just sort of like, it just fell into place. It was, we knew that there was a very, 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 very short timeline, and we had to do not just the song, but others. And so I wasn't familiar with the show. I was familiar with the first iteration of the show. And because I'm so story bound, I was really nervous about, oh my God, like, how am I going to get to know these people this fast? And usually, and I didn't want to read through every script of every, the first 2 seasons, because it's usually a script is what really makes it stick to my bones. But when I just start binging, I set off to watch, like, I'm going to watch maybe 3 episodes, the first, the middle, and the end, and then see. Yeah. I watched the first one. I'm like, oh my God, wait, what happened? And who are they? Wait. And so I fell in love. I binged all, like, the first 2 seasons of Generation Q. Then I had questions about the other characters. So I went back to the first iteration to refamiliarize myself with that one. And then once I got over that, I felt like I fell in love with Rosanne's character, with Sophie. And I connected so deeply to her that I said, okay, I hope she gets a song, So I think that, and when she did, of course, it was just like, I think it was just like the building blocks to this serendipitous moment where we all have these feelings that we're grounded in, that are that resonate deeply within the themes of the song. So it was just magic, emotion, and music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Allyson, when you think back to that time, I'm hearing it's, it was around the end of the year when everyone's supposed to be chilling. What was going through your mind in terms of the pressure to make this happen? Because TV is always on such a short, quick turnaround. It just sounds horrifying that you'd have to. You want to create something really special, right? So what's that pressure like?
Yeah, so when we got the real call from Marja, like, oh, this is happening, it would have been literally, I think it was in mid-May, we first had a conversation with her, and that was when we were like, we knew that there was going to be like a whole musical, it was going to require all this production, plus the score in addition. And so at that point, I think Heather and I were like, that's why we're like, we need to call someone, which was Taura straight away. It was just like, we need a person who knows how to do this, and they do it all the time, and they can help us basically. And she did. She was amazing. And she came in super professional, just had done all the research and was just collaborative and just wanted to, get involved and on any level that, she could. And so, it was very compacted, that basically from when we started the first session we did, I want to say it was like the end of May, right, you guys? I feel like it was like one of the last weeks in May, and we were in the recording studio at the end of June, like recording. So there was 6 tracks. We wrote them, like the writing, yeah, it happened very fast, and the production, all the arranging and stuff like that it felt it was a very intense moment. Vocal production, like Tara and us sitting in the studio, her recording vocals over and over, like to get all these lines in and parts, and then just Heather on the back end working on all the instrumental stuff. It was amazing, but it was really intense, right, you guys? I mean, it would just happen so fast, but we didn't have time to think about it. You just had to go and just throw yourself into it, throw your heart, throw your soul into it, and just go with the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it, Heather? And it's like, yeah, you could have it could have gone really pear-shaped, and you could have failed miserably. But how do you feel now that it's been and done? You put this thing out into the world, and it's been responded to in this way, not only by fans and critics, but by Emmy voters who wanted to just give you a pat on the back to say, yeah, we really like what you did.
I mean, it's just been beautiful. Like, I feel like to get to make something, I come from a band background, so it was kind of like we got to make another band together. It's like we got to hang out in the same room. We got to feel a real sense of community with us and with our showrunner and our writer, and to be able to get those demos together. And I mean, to have a songwriting, sure, we came out of the pandemic, and then after the pandemic, we get to sit in the same room together and riff these ideas off each other. To be able to have that as our first out of the gate collaboration was so special, and then get to share that with our peers, and to have people really respond to the songs, connected with the show, and not, people that just felt like I have an opportunity to step into my own power, to find, it has this anthemic quality to it that, I think when we started getting in there, we all realized how special it was. It's really sort of the jewel of the show. I feel like it's so special to all of us that it's exciting for that to be here for us.
I think anthemic quality is a really good way to put it. And Taura, when you're writing, the Sophie Suarez character is a really interesting one on the show. And Rosanna Zayas, I didn't know a lot about her, but my God, she can sing. Wow, she is so talented. Does that inform or help the way you're going to sculpt these lyrics for the melodies that the three of you have come up with?
Yeah, a little bit, because you want, I'm like, what key does she sing in? That kind of thing. So we want to make sure that we weren't writing it too high for her. But because all I had was kind of little bits and pieces, sort of like this, the episode when she does this karaoke thing, and then maybe one other thing I heard, but nothing prepared me for the sheer talent and force that this woman, I really didn't know until she came into the studio, and she sang it from top to bottom, including the rap, with no mistakes, with the tenacity of, I felt like I was in a Broadway show, just sort of oh my God, I could not believe it. And then she's like, and we're like, oh my God. And she's like, okay, let me do it again. And even when we got the best take there was, she said, let me do it again. And so we were prepared in the sense that we knew what key. My favorite thing is to push vocalists and to get the greatest vocal out of even non-singers. So I wanted to write it in a way that it's just a great song, but I want to say it's almost like one of my favorite performances of any vocal that I've ever written, because it was just such a surprise, so much heart, and then getting to know her and becoming friends with her and knowing how it resonated with her and her story as well. It was just like I say, serendipitous for all of us. We all have a chord attached to this body of just kind of visceral emotions that are interwoven in a song. And this woman, I was going to say this girl because she's all of the things. She is just so amazing, and I'm so happy that our song that she was able to be this driver in this vehicle.
Yeah. You know, the show's important for queer visibility on television, right? And so was the L Word back in the day, especially in this time and place that we're in, this very divided cultural landscape that we're living in, where the LGBTQ community is always under attack by political forces. So this is an open question to the three of you. What are your thoughts on how vital this show is for the LGBTQ community, and also a song like this and what it might mean for someone watching, a fan who might relate to it?
I mean, I think, personally, I identify as a queer person. So to me, it's personally very important. And the show has been since its first iteration that came out when I was a, young person kind of thing. And it had a very big impact on me. It's the first time you see yourself represented in the media. So to come full circle to be working on it is kind of amazing. But there's a lot of queer content being cancelled right now. And I mean, as far as the O word, Generation Q, I mean, this is just it's just Marge's world of queer people. Like, it's just one version of it. There could be like so many more versions of it, like the same way that every television series has multiple things about, whether it's like a woman in a lead role or something about a Black family, whatever it is, there could be multiple things and iterations, but there's not. And especially for the queer community, it's they're kind of dwindling at the moment. So I think the show's really important. It's unfortunate that it's been taken off the air. I mean, it's kind of sad. Yeah.
Strange.
I have to add to that, because there's mass cancellations for shows featuring and starring people of color. And Rosanny is a Dominican American. She was raised in New York City, hardcore, had to go through all the things to be able to even stand here on this platform, and to have it explode in her face, so to speak, was just, it was heart-wrenching, which is part, to be quite honest, is probably why I was thinking, oh, we won't be nominated. There's not even a show anymore. So
Right.
I'm really happy that even people that are writing music for songs in the future, that maybe we can be a blueprint for that your voice can still stand, your voice can still be heard. Even when they try to turn the lights off on you, you're still there. That light is still flickering in the background. So I was watching, I just have to say, I was like watching, I have to give like so much respect to Lena Waithe. I'm watching a show last night and I see all these different kinds of people being represented in her show. And I'm so happy that her show wasn't canceled, and hopefully like the success of this nomination and other things that broke through the cracks, that we'll be able to continue to get programming that represents people of color, queer people, and people that have all differences, because it should, our views, what we're looking at should reflect reality, and it just isn't. Like our everyday world, what we see walking down the street, everyone deserves representation, and unfortunately, we're just not getting it.
And multiple versions of that as well. There's not just one version of what
It's not a
that looks
monolith.
like. There's so many different stories of these, to be told, kind of thing. And that's the real shame. It's just kind of like, oh, there's one. We've got one show about lesbians. We don't need another one.
Yeah.
Right.
Not anymore.
Right.
But so I don't know. What about you, Heather? What do you feel?
No, I mean, I have to agree with that too. It's like, there's a lot of pressure on a show too, if it's supposed to be the only version. It's like, we need to see, it's important for us all to be represented. And I feel like that's when the storytelling gets the most interesting, is when we have this opportunity to lift up marginalized voices. We have this opportunity to tell unique stories. And I think that's a lot of what we're really hoping for. I feel like as we're moving forward, I think people are really fighting for that now. It's, we're at the cusp of something, and hopefully we'll be able to see more of more representation in the future instead of, you know, kind of this level where we are right now. But
Yeah.
it's so important. Like, I want to hear new stories. I want to hear exciting stories. I want to be able to relate to them. And I want us to be part of building community. I feel like there's, to see yourself on the screen is so valuable. Like, yes, it's entertaining. It also is entertaining. It's not just, you know, there's a bigger picture there. It's like, we could all win with this. We all win.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's not just eat your spinach. It's actually the richness of the human experience that we all want to tap into. I want to know more. I want to see more. I agree. And if it's well written and entertaining, it can be about anything and anybody. So I hope that message goes out into the ether, and we can see more stories from all kinds of people, right?
Yeah.
What do you do? But in the meantime, you get to just relax. You've got months until the Emmys are on. So but this is really special. You can be in this nominee phase, a honeymoon phase, for a pretty long time. So just get that champagne out, celebrate every weekend. You're all good. But in the meantime, I want to thank the three of you so much for your time today. Congratulations once again, and good luck at the Emmys.
Thank you so much, Rob.